We're looking at the art of costume design and the processes involved in putting together an aesthetically pleasing and artistically accurate costume design. We've already discussed the goals of the costume designer. In this section, we'll take a look at how the designer analyzes each character so that they may reveal both the inner and outer qualities of the character. When considering each character in a play, the costume designer typically analyzes them by virtue of 4 character traits. We'll see how this analysis circles back to the goal of the costume designer, as well as gives them a basis for utilizing the elements of design. The 4 character traits that a costume designer typically considers when analyzing each character for a play production are the physical traits, the psychological traits, the social traits, and the moral traits of the character. When analyzing a character with respect to their physical traits, a designer is considering the outward appearance of the character. What is it about the character's appearance that sets them apart from the other characters? What is unique about the appearance of this character? In the play Of Mice and Men, John Steinbeck's stage adaptation of his novella, the character Lenny is a large man, while his sidekick George is short in stature. When considering the physical qualities of Romeo and Juliet, the designer will probably think of these two as young and attractive characters, and will try to costume them in such a way as to reinforce this notion of the characters. A designer will also analyze the characters by virtue of their psychological traits. What internal driving forces motivate the character? Unlike the task of reinforcing the physical traits, the designer will now need to use the elements of design to reveal the inner drives of a character. If a character is ambitious, the designer may decide to put them in bold colors. They may design a costume with strong lines to reinforce this. Or, if the driven character is a historical character like Teddy Roosevelt, they may use a rough texture to reinforce the Rough Rider quality that we associate with the former president. Another character trait that will be considered by the costume designer in their analysis of the character is the social traits. In other words, how does the character fit into their environment? As we recall, this was one of the goals of the costume designer. This analysis will take into consideration the social class of the character. Again, a designer may use this analysis to put characters of a lower socioeconomical scale in simple colors, with modest lines and mass. Naturally, the lower-class characters would have very little ornament on their costumes, while the upper-class characters would be sufficiently adorned with bolder colors. Another internal trait that is considered in a costume designer's analysis is the moral traits. What are the guiding principles that shape the dramatic action of the character and motivate their behavior? A morally upright character may be put in a simple, unadorned costume with muted colors, while a wild character may be put in a costume of bold, unorthodox colors, and the texture of their outfit may be shiny and overly adorned. How the costumer utilizes the elements of design would naturally be left up to their own personal interpretation of the character and would be steered by the directorial concept of the play. In our next section, we will take a look at the process that a costume designer goes through in order to take all of this analysis and put it into a practical and dynamic costume design. It's time to complete your task for this section. We'll see you next time.